Hello everyone, thanks to Amazon Japan, not sending it to me for free, but thanks to me getting it from them, I'm able to bring you Transformers masterpiece Starscream version 2. That's what they call him, that's what I'm calling him in this video, because that's how you're going to be able to find him on the internet. I got a lot to talk about, so there's the box. If you need to see more of the box, Google is your friend.
T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Luckily for me, Starscream comes packaged in jet mode, but he comes with a lot of stuff. I'm going to show a couple of things. Here is the bio card or tech spec card. There you are, that, and of course he comes with the instructions. Everything else I'll just be throwing in here as I go along, but here he is on his included stand, which is substantial plastic. It's 3 parts. You put it together. You should be able to figure that part out yourself. This has a moving arm. You can adjust it higher or lower or whatever. There is a screw right there that I probably need to tighten so that this wouldn't lean back like it just did automatically by itself. But that can rock this way and also tilt that way. The little attachment right here, you can't rotate it while it's on there. You have to take it off, and you can rotate it different ways as you see fit. But there you are. This attachment, I would recommend like prying it off like one side, then coming off like that. But you'll use that again. Here is the underbelly of the jet while we're here. Here's the top of the jet, the side. It does all the things you love from the original version of Masterpiece Starscream, like show you this little radar thingy right there. So that's cool. The cockpit opens and he has a purple seat in there. If you have little Dieclone dudes, they can sit in there and you can actually shut it. If you want to go cheaper, or if you don't want to go KO like my little Dieclone dude, you can take one of these Bandai Micro Wars guys. They can sit in there too. Their heads are a little bit bigger. Push it back far enough and you should be able to shut it. So that's good. Back here, the wings, these still adjust like you're used to or not. I noticed that in this mode right here that these wings kind of want to dip on me, but you can lift them up, and these also don't really lock into place, so they want to dip as well. You know what? I'm feeling this. Is this diecast? I'm about to have to use my cold touch. Almost claimed the cold touch technique for myself, but everybody was using that anyway. It's a whole big joke. But from what I can tell, I didn't even realize till just now, because the AC is on. This actually feels like diecast. If you want them to have landing gear, you can open this up, lift the doors open like this, and then grab in there. When you get them out, you gotta like force it forward. Don't be afraid, it's meant to do that. Force it forward, and up here we can lift that up, bring this down, and shut that right here. And now it has landing gear, and it actually rolls smoothly. I believe you're supposed to also close that up. You don't really have to, but I like the way that rolls. You know what, now that I'm playing with him near the AC, I noticed that this whole front crotch piece, this whole part right here, you see the brighter red part, and of course, like I mentioned right there, it's all diecast, pretty much trying to replicate what we had on the original G1 toy. This whole, everything red was diecast on the original G1 toy. Accessories he can use in his jet mode are these exhaust flames right here. These push in, so it's kind of hard to do this with from behind the camera. But you can have that going on for you right there. He comes with this Megatron gun. which is a different mold from the one that came with pretty much everything. And it's like 2 separate pieces. But basically, this can attach to his little stand port thing. Like that, you can carry that. You can grab any one of these blast effects and put that on there. And the guns right here out of package or straight out of the box, they're not really attached. I'm gonna somewhat show you how to do. You could take that off, rotate this out like that, grab this, flip this around, shut it, and basically peg this back into the peg hole right there. When you leave it connected, it honestly makes his wings more stable so they don't keep flipping up. But do that on both sides. Now he has access to his Null ray cannons right there. And you can go ahead and port these blast effects right there. So he's shooting from Megatron, shooting from his Null ray cannons, and flying. Now, if you don't like this armature or like the way that's connected, you can pop that, pull this off the peg, and go ahead and rotate that like that. Once you get it back into this missile configuration, you can push that back to get it out the way. They did a lot of engineering on just these alone, which is cool. And you can just go ahead and reattach them to the wings. And now they don't have the little armature attached, so that's cool. Here's a comparison between the new Starscream and the Toys R Us exclusive Starscream. As you can see, they're like roughly around the same size and whatnot. They have all the little fake G1 detail markings that was present in the cartoon. Oh yeah. Looking, maybe the old one is slightly longer at the nose cone, but they are really, really, really similar sized. But yeah, I have a review on it. Here is Maketoys Meteor. So another color variation. And I meant to say, all this gray right there, all that's like fully painted. Everything that you see pretty much that's this grayish color is paint. Now all the red, as you can tell right here, this darker red, that's just regular plastic. But yeah, this is the same deal. It's slightly longer at the nose cone when I put the tail fins together. All right, transformation. I'm gonna go to the first mode that it's officially in the instructions. So how you want to get that going is to kind of move this down like that on both sides. It goes around this little nubbin right here. And I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't my official T-Man's how-to. Lift that up on both sides. So there might be some stumbling. I'm going to go ahead and move the crotch panels for it as well. But basically, after you get this stuff detached, you can move the legs down freely. And now we basically need to bring this mostly to robot mode. There's a little tab under here. Pull that down and lift that out the way. Now we could bring the foot down and push until it clicks. I'm going to do that on both sides. Well, I'm going to lift this out of here and then move this down till it clicks. Now we can move this panel forward. I'm going to do that on both sides. And we can start rotating, like push in on this and rotate the leg up until it snaps. And we can bring this down and click it into this panel and reverse the wing up like that. Lift this up, make sure that this stays forward, and bring this panel right there and lift that up. Now the legs can come forward, but to finish off this look, you could detach the missiles from the wings. Go ahead and lift the wings up on both sides. Bring this like that and slide it down. Bring it like that slide it down, rotate these, and bring it like this. Bring it like that. Now we can rotate that down like this on both sides, and the missile pod can go into this little groove right there. And bam, here we go. That one time the Seekers like half landed, and in the sky they were like half transformed, and you can make them Gerwalkers or whatever the heck, just like the Robotech or whatever you call that series. I ain't even gonna try to act like I know. I'm gonna start with the legs, lift that back up. Now this right here, we need to bring that back up, well, bring that this direction, I mean, and start spinning it this way till it stops. Now this we can push up like that and rotate it, or actually rotate it this way. And now we can rotate that again this way and get it up under there, and basically push this tab under here, and you're good to go. If this is extended, shove that up. Same thing on this side. Lift that up, make sure that stays like this. Lift this up so it can clear here. Then we can bring this little piece forward, rotate it inward this way, get that way, and now we can shut this and bring that up under here. And kind of bring the legs down out the way, but let's go ahead and detach the missile pods again. You can lift these up, bring this out, rotate the wings that way, bring this out, rotate the wings this way, get them back up over there, and now we can go ahead and start separating this and lifting these up. Make sure you bring these little, there's some nubs that fit under this, bring that out to the side so it can clear. Lift this up, we can bring this down, put that into a groove, bring that down, and then peg this like this. Go ahead and, while we're still like this, get this out, rotate this out this way while bringing this down out of the way. So just make sure that all the stuff on the back is angled out of the way so that we can just go ahead and get this out of the way. So now we can rotate these like this while the butterfly joint is out the way, and try to remember to get this up like that, because that is way easy to forget. Down here we can kind of lift the head out the way and squeeze between these two bars, get that up and out the way. And now we can lift this up, and this confirms right here there is no type of, oh no, I hope this wasn't blurry the whole time. This right here confirms that there's no type of waist swivel. Get this in this orientation, and then we can move these panels down past this middle gray bar. So bring the panel down past the gray bar. If you have the ab crunch flexed, it won't be able to do that. While we have things here, I know this all looks like a big cluster. We can go ahead and rotate the wing like this. rotate the wing like this. And when you do that, these things can rotate that way, basically to get that mess out the way. Now up here, make sure all this is out the way. But basically, this nose cone needs to turn that way, and we need to separate this from here, but go ahead and push this seat in and bring that like that. Go ahead and rotate this way and lift these pieces up like this and start basically shoving everything in like that. Now we can take the head, push that back down while squeezing the little things on the side of his head in between the bar right there. I don't know if you can see that, sorry. But move everything in this motion right there. And before we get all the way into the groove, come on you, we need to rotate this way. And now you need to kind of like line, shove that up until we can get all of that inside of there, so we can move this back. When we move this back, we can shove that here. And if you heard something falling off, that was his face. All right. Now these are in the way, but we can go ahead at this point and peg that there. Peg. Make sure that's out. Peg that there. And we can go ahead and peg this here. Okay. Now we can open this back up. Bring this down to cover. Yeah, bring that down to cover. And now right here we can open this up, which shows his cluster bombs hidden under there, which you could use in jet mode if you wanted to, but the missile pods are in the way. Open this hinge all the way up. When I was watching that Takara video, I couldn't tell that he opened this all the way up. But anywho, move this down and rotate the wing like this. But basically, before we do that though, move this into this position. Get that down. Rotate this and get that down on both sides. Now we can put this like this, put that like that, and this peg right here goes into a slot right there. Bring that up and peg that in. Bring that up, peg that in. These right here can come back and fit there. And you see this motion right there, that thing moves, but we can put that like that right there. Now the shoulders we can put in finally. This right here, it's kind of tricky, but it needs to rotate like that and come up and clamp on to the back of the arm right there. Gonna try to do it smoother on this side. Basically rotate this into this orientation. Move this and lift it up. Clamp it over that. Now we can move this shoulder joint back into place. Open this up. Bring the hand out rotate the hand, and shut that. Open this up, rotate the hand out, flip it, shut that. While these are still out on this armature, you can lift this up and rotate that out, shut it, and basically bring that down so that they hang down. Same thing over here. And now, if we did everything, oh wait, one last step. Lift these knee pads up until they stop. And now, Masterpiece Starscream 2.0 is a robot. Now before I jump all the way into the robot mode, here's something I'm just realizing. I paused before I started filming, but there is a little notch right there that if you move these back, you can get it to sit on there. Now this one I was able to move forward and it like clicked and it's solid, but I can't for the life of me get this one to be solid like that. So it's obvious that I need to like pull this forward some type of way while it's still connected down there, but I'm scared I'm gonna break the daggone thing. So I'll just have to suffer right now throughout the rest of this filming with that being able to be moved a little bit more. But anyway, this thing is the most G1 cartoon accurate Starscream like freaking ever. And a lot of complaints that I had with every other Masterpiece style Seeker mold, they pretty much remedied as far as the weight, as far as like stability. Like this is the most like solid Starscream ever. Like every other version, the MP-03, MP-11, Maketoys, Seekers, the wings don't want to stay attached on the back. The wings like move and whatnot. Like these wings, like all those other figures, you could angle the wings back. This one, you can move the arms out without even really having to worry about the Null ray cannons, because he has like 4 points of articulation in the shoulders alone to make sure that the Null ray cannon is never a problem. Then another issue with the sculpt of most of those is the little shoulder pylons are far enough back so his head isn't stuck in between them, so you can make him turn all the way left and right and he can still see. That was another issue. Being able to come in front of the body more with the arms. He has butterfly joints, like I said, 4 points. Like you can lift this up, that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So they've been going crazy with these newer, more cartoon accurate Masterpiece as far as the shoulder articulation and even the neck. Like he can look down a lot. He can look all the way freaking up. Now the neck does look weird. It's not the traditional neck sculpt. But looking at the cartoon images, sometimes he rarely had a freaking neck. It's like the head was just attached to the body. They got rid of the wings down here on the feet. The only thing that messes it up is this backpack isn't accurate to the cartoon at all. But in person, I don't know what it looks like right here. In person, it's not so bad, to be honest. It's way less crazy looking. And now that I discovered it has this diecast, I'm thinking they put all the diecast there not only to be a homage to the original toy, but to make him have more weight in the front side of his body, because you do have all this going on. Even though the majority of everything, like, that does stick out far, but a lot of this is actually inside of his body, which is cool. They got the foot to be a little bit more accurate to the cartoon by them being bigger. But yeah, looks cool. I'm gonna just finish the articulation. I showed the neck. Like you can get all types of head tilts and all that stuff, and of course rotate. You can get more than 90 degrees of bend right there on the elbow. If you detach the little connection, which honestly sometimes detaches itself, you can do that. And some of these faces, as you can see, are not the most, they don't stay in that well. Some of them. One of them stayed in too well, and I could barely get it off. But outside of that, you get inward and outward motion on the wrist, rotation, get 2 joints on each finger, and each finger opens individually. You get 2 on the thumb. The thumb doesn't rotate, but let me zoom in on what this looks like. With the way they sculpted that hinge in the center, because they definitely wanted that articulation, I guess. I don't know if it would have been a smart idea to make the thumb rotate, because then you would have to worry about the thumb falling off. Like I already showed the Null rays, how they can articulate and whatnot and get out the way, but it should be down there. You do have access to an ab crunch, which can make it more dynamic. And look at this. They folded that in such a way that the backpack never separates, even when you do the ab crunch. You have hip skirts. Legs can go all the way out to the side, pretty much. You can come forward. Can't really go back because it does hit. You do get thigh rotation. What this little nub right there is bumping. Or actually, I could have swore it bent more than that. But maybe for the poses I was doing, I didn't need to do that. But you get well more than 90 on the knees. The feet can go back. They can't really come forward that much. That is one thing that's disappointing. And you do get ankle pivot. But this thruster can separate a lot for stability. Here's this face right there. The smiling face, kind of reminiscent of the head that came with Optimus Prime. I showed you this Megatron can separate. That helps him hold the gun better. He does have the typical weapon groove in the hand. I put the thumb down and I put the index finger into the trigger guard. And now I have him blasting it. Now you could use these faces however you see fit, but when he was shooting Megatron, he did have this big open mouth right there. He also has this "hey, what are you doing" worried face right there. His trademark "wanna bet" sneer. The super happy with himself face. And this is his plain whatever face. Now if you want, you can pop this Null ray off, bring this handle down. Pretty much the same way you did with Megatron, you can hold this gun. If you rotate the hand around, shut it like that, open it, you can put the hand back inside, and now you can do things like put this little claw hand attachment right there. And I believe he used this claw attachment to remove this piece of cosmic rust rock out of Megatron's chest right there. On the bottom there's a pin, and this only opens right here. Only this hinge right there opens. The other side does not open, so don't drive yourself crazy. He also has a drill hand attachment that he used probably once in one episode. Nicely painted. Of course, you can use these blast effects that we used in the jet mode and robot mode. If we bring the stand back out and put that stand peg attachment back on his back, he can actually use the stand. And it's like so heavy that even though he's on the edge, you can still hold him up from this angle instead of like the other angle. I would put it back further to be safe about it, but just get him up in the air in a good pose. Maybe even use the ab crunch, and bam, you're good to go right there. And you still have access, if you pull these forward, you still have access to put the little thruster blast in his feet. So now he can be shooting and blasting off in the air. So I believe that is every single thing you can do with Starscream. Actually, no, it's not. I'm lying. The last thing he can do that I didn't show yet, or at least I hope this is the last thing. I might have to look at the instructions. But these lift up, and he has nice colored cluster bombs right there. So, yay, and they even put detail up there that's painted. So, just transforming the original one, this thing is just way better to me. In every way, which it should be. Here's this comparison right here. A few years ago, I jumped on the Maketoys Seekers because they are way more cartoon accurate than the MP-11 mold right there, which is just a retool of the MP-03 mold. That's why they're calling this 2.0, because this and the MP3 were basically the same thing, except they changed a few. They retooled a lot of parts. But this guy I liked, but it had a lot of issues that I just tried to ignore because I went all in. You can watch my review to see what I think about that. My main issue is the little head, and he can't look up at all. This guy, nowhere near G1 accurate. I started falling out of love with this mold right here when I got halfway through the conehead versions, and I was like, these all are boring. Why am I still buying these? And I sold all of them. Starscream was the only thing he's the only thing I have left, and I think that was before I got the Maketoys. Here he is next to some cartoony official Masterpiece figures. And let's throw in some other third-party cartoon accurate stuff right there. Yeah. Some official Decepticons right there. Yeah. He's slightly shorter than Shockwave right there. I think the old one was like around the same height, and Soundwave was taller than both. And here's this right here. Starscream can really look down. And I didn't have to take his head off for this, since his neck has that long joint. You can get Megatron's hand around his neck for this pose right here. Final thoughts. I really like this guy. I don't have nearly as many things to complain about as I thought I probably would. The plastic quality is good. I will admit, in some areas of the body, like down in the legs, mostly, and maybe some parts of the wings, it does make me think about Hound, the way it feels, but the rest of the plastic is good, and I didn't even expect it to have die-cast at all. That shocked me. I knew it had heft, but when I realized it had actual die-cast, that's actually cool. I like the way certain things transform. I like the way the guns transform, and I like all of his accessories. And I love the expressiveness and the articulation. That's good. Things I didn't talk about during the review. This panel right here, the way they engineered that, it does not want to stay shut, especially this side right there. It's almost like constantly cracked open. And the joint right here constantly comes detached. You can use that as articulation, so it's not too big of a deal. Well, yeah. I think it's cool the way they integrated the ab crunch in this, but I thought him not having a waist swivel would be more of a problem, but I've been having so much fun posing him around, not using the ab crunch. And if you look at the cartoon and the way his body's shaped, he barely ever twisted at the waist anyway. I thought this would be a problem for me, and it's not really a problem. I like the way it collapses together and stays stable, which is good. I do need to mention though, this is still heavy, and depending on how you have the ankles positioned, he is back heavy. So, yeah, certain poses will take some finagling. And you can see that this ankle pivot is substantial, but it's making that come apart right there. But yeah, overall, I like them. The price that I paid, I keep telling y'all this every single time I pre-order one of these official masterpiece. I do it off of Amazon Japan, and the price is typically close to 30% off. I can't remember what the US online retailer price is, but I think it's like $1 or $260 or whatever. I paid $218, and that's the same price I just paid for the Fans Toys Perceptor that's coming out, which doesn't come with nearly as much as stuff as this right here. I hope he's good and posable. I can't remember looking at, let me get off of that. But I like the thing, and I can suggest it. I don't think that I'm gonna break anything. I hope months from now it's not cracking all over the place. But from what I can see right now, I don't see any stress marks and whatnot. I could definitely see stress marks off top with Hound. I'm not seeing that here. Anyhow, thank you for watching this video. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos. Click the